Hey everyone, I'm doing my John Maxwell and still focusing on my book, Make Today Count. And the chapter that I did today was on relationships. So, as many of you who are following me know, I came here from Zimbabwe. Originally, I was born in Zimbabwe and then I went to England. And while I was there, the land grab started happening, and basically they took our citizenship away, and I didn't know what I was going to do. England wouldn't let me stay. I applied as a refugee and they said, no, you have to leave the country within 30 days. And if you don't, we are going to put you on a plane. We are going to come and collect you and deport you. So I had gone and spoken to them in person. They wouldn't even sit down with me and talk to me. And then I went to the Jesuits. They couldn't help me. So I really had no option. I stayed with my cousin, Maggie, and we waited. We prayed for my papers to come through. And we had faith. And thankfully they came through and I came to Canada. So there are a lot of people who want to criticize you, who want to give you the benefit of their wisdom, and they don't encourage you. They are always discouraging you from coming up, from building relationships, from trying new things. And then you have people who encourage you, who will say, go for it, try it, see if it works out, invest in your education, invest in getting your credentials. And those are the relationships you need to nurture, not the people who discourage you and put you down and say you can't do it. And relationships are important, even in business. We are dealing with relationships. Our customers won't come back to us if we don't value them, if we don't feel that, or they don't feel that we're going to do our best to help them. All business is based on relationships, and the relationships we have with our customers, and whether they feel they're getting good service or not, whether they feel they're getting good value for their money, for what we're offering them and giving them. Everybody needs to be encouraged. Everybody needs to feel valued, to make sure that they feel like they're a part of the team. And it doesn't matter if you're a managing director or if you're at the lowest, a cleaner, or if you're whatever work you're doing, you need to feel valued and to feel that your work is adding value to the team. And without you, the team would not be the same. So in my coming to Canada, I did not know anybody here. I started out on my own. I went to agencies, I registered with them. They didn't know me. They placed me in positions, and I went in and I had to prove myself. I had to build relationships. I had to go in, and basically I did not tell anybody about my experience that I came here as a refugee and I had to come through the skilled worker program and I got in. I did not tell anybody that. I just went in, I registered with agencies, I got my jobs, whatever jobs I got. First I was with Mothers Against Drunk Driving. I was cleaning, painting their pots, taking out the garbage. Then I got my jobs in the bank at TD, and then when the recession hit, I was let go. And I did try to keep those relationships going. I tried to send Christmas cards for my managers. I tried to email them, let them know how things were going, but they never responded. They never reciprocated. And so relationships can't only be one way. It can't only be you reaching out and doing things and nobody's responding back to you. So eventually I just gave up. And it's also very hard if you're on a contract and you're going from contract to contract. You can't really build those relationships within the team. You don't have longevity because you're just going in, you're doing a job, and then you're moving on. And also it's your mindset, because you're always hungry. You always have to look for that next opportunity. Where's that next job coming from? Where's that next opportunity going to be? And there's no time. to relax, to go on holidays, to enjoy life. Because if you have 3 months of work and 6 months without work, or 3 months of work and 9 months without work, how are you supposed to live? And it becomes very, very distressing, especially if it's going on for not just 1 year or 2 years, but 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. And then when you do get the jobs, there's always internal politics. Why do you even bring somebody in if you know that you've got somebody else that you really want on that job? It's not fair to a person to do that and to say, well, yes, there's possibility of extension, but that's what they do in Canada. They say possibility of extension, possibility of making you permanent, and then they let you go. And so it's very hard when you're an immigrant. It's very hard because you're coming with nothing but the clothes on your back and maybe a little bit of money to train, to invest towards your education. And so it's hard. And when I stayed with my sister, I did help her. I paid her rent and I bought food for the house, for all of us, for the kids and for them and me. I didn't just stay there and sponge off anyone. No, I contributed, I helped, I cooked, I did things. I also pulled my weight in the house. I didn't just come and say, okay, I'm here now, I'm your sister, now look after me. I didn't do that. So relationships are important. Having people to encourage you is important. Nobody helped to open doors for me. Even my aunt's sister, when I moved out from my sister's place, when they asked me to move, my aunt asked them to come and drop me. They took me, they dropped me, and they went. I never saw them again. Nobody came to visit me. Nobody called. If I didn't reach out, nobody would reach back to me. So it's a very different lifestyle compared to how I grew up in Zimbabwe, because we would all get together. It was give and take. You reach out to people, they reach back to you. You help people, when the time comes, they help you back. So I've been giving and giving and giving, and I've just decided that I've pulled back. So I'm not volunteering anymore. I'm not helping Bono, I'm not helping the One campaign, I'm not going out for Out of the Cold, I'm not helping anywhere. The only place I'm helping right now is in my church. And I don't feel bad about it, because since I came here in 2002, all I've been doing is giving and helping and giving and helping. And I haven't had that help in return. So I've pulled back and I've just said, I'm just concentrating now on my job. I encourage my teammates, I encourage people in my church, and I help in the church. And that's how it should be. It should be give and take. It shouldn't only be one-sided. And that's the same thing that my mother noticed was happening. And she said to me, it's always you. You're always reaching out. You're always giving. You're always encouraging. And who's there for you? And she said, when I go, what's going to happen to you? So, it becomes very discouraging when you see your loved one being treated like that. And I told her, well, I feel that that's the only way for me to get out, to meet people and see others. And she was very upset. And she said, it's not like this at home. And I said to her, no, it's not. But unfortunately, that's how it is here. So it takes time. You have to keep investing, keep helping, keep encouraging. And also you have to take care of yourself and your relationship with yourself, your mental health, eating properly, what you're feeding into your mind, your body, your spirit. So relationships are important, and I think it's good to focus on relationships and what they mean. It's the same thing when the storm hit, when we had that big ice storm. I was alone. Nobody called me. Nobody said, hey, Belinda, are you okay? Do you need anything? And I was on contract at the time at CIBC. And then I went to work. So at least I got to see people there. But it can be very isolating when you come here as a refugee, as an immigrant, and you're starting over. It can be very, very hard. We have people in our church, and they get help through the church. people helped them to find jobs, they helped them to find places to live. I didn't get any of that. I did everything on my own. I found a room to rent in a house. I found it through the internet. I paid my rent. I got my furniture. And I did ask, but nobody helped me. So anyway, that's life. It's unfortunate because when people came to us in Zimbabwe, we always made them feel welcome. We always went out, we took a dish to them, we encouraged them to come out, we included them in our parties. And when my colleagues at TD used to invite me to their home when I was working there. But once I left, it kind of changed and they moved on. Same thing with my colleagues at Regis College. I used to invite them over, but then I continued my studies and some of them dropped out. So then they stopped keeping in touch with me. So that's the way it happens. And then even other people that I helped who came to Canada, I helped them get references through the church. I helped them find jobs. I wrote references for them for employment, for being Catholics. I don't hear from them anymore. So unfortunately, that's how it goes. But I also believe that hopefully what we put out will come back to us. Maybe it won't come back right away, but hopefully over time it will come back. And it's discouraging when you're working for managers or you're working for people who tell you they don't like your attitude and what do you think you're doing, or you think you're better than everybody else. It's very discouraging. But you have to keep going and you have to keep trying and keep trying to build those relationships. There's a lot of people I helped on the mentoring committees for Toronto, for York chapter, for the law conferences. There's a lot of people that I'm connected with. But despite my reaching out, asking, saying I need a job, I need some help, nobody helped. Or they say, I'll think about it, and then they don't get back to me. So I'm like, oh well, at least I've tried. And that's all you can do, is to keep trying, keep going, and to keep moving forward. There's a few friends that keep in touch with me that I went to university with, but they are not from here. They are from Zimbabwe or South Africa. And those are the people that stay in touch with me. So that's about relationships, giving encouragement, giving support, helping people, taking the time to take care of yourself, and also supporting our loved ones, because it's very hard for our loved ones when they see us going through difficult times, they see us discouraged, they see us pulled down, they see our spirits worn down. It's hard for them too. So we have to also help each other and care about each other as refugees and as immigrants, because if we don't, nobody is going to be there for us in the hard times. And what happens today to Catholics, tomorrow will happen to Jews or Muslims or Hindus. You can't say that, oh, it's only about my people. Because if you do that, when your time comes and you need the help, then people will say, well, when we came to you, nobody was there for us. And that was the difference in Zimbabwe. We helped everybody. It wasn't only about, look at what the Muslims are doing or look at what the Catholics are doing. We helped everybody, and we were a Christian country. I don't know how Zimbabwe is today because I haven't been back, but we have all our Christian holidays. At the Christmas time, everything closed. Easter, everything closed, including the retail. We never worked Christmas and Easter and the Christian holidays. We were a Christian country. And that's why some people criticize Robert Mugabe, because he went to the UN and said, we are not gays. But he refused to bow down to what the West wanted, because he said we are Africans and we are keeping our values. So that's the way it goes. That when you come to the West, you have to learn also how to adapt to their ways and to what they want and how they want to do things. So it's not easy for me as a Zimbabwean. And I grew up with very, very strong Christian values and very, very strong cultural values. A lot of people try to copy Ubuntu, but you can't teach Ubuntu. If you don't have the heart and you don't have the love in your heart, nobody can teach you to learn it.